I'd like to start this off by telling you a little bit of a story. When I was about 15, I used to read the Reader's Digest. Great magazine, really, really good quality magazine. I haven't read it for a number of years, which I think I will do because it's a nice little magazine that you can just put in your pocket and some really good quality stories in there. But so I was about 15 years of age, and I was looking through this particular Reader's Digest, and I came across the agony art section, and I can't remember the title. It caught my eye, sex usual, and I started to read it. And it was a young man who was describing the fact that well, what it was, he was living with his girlfriend at the time. This was in the middle of the 70s, coming up to late 70s. So he was living with his girlfriend. I don't know, I can't remember whether he was a college student or whether he was just a working lad with his girlfriend. But anyway, they were living together, and apparently he came across her diary after looking in the cupboard, in the wardrobe. It was hidden. So, I mean, bullshit. Basically, he obviously had been looking for it when she was out, came across it. He said it was open. In other words, he picked the lock probably and opened it. And he was shocked to the core by what he read. And I was actually shocked to the core by what he read. And it was, he thought he and his girlfriend were enjoying sex together. She was enjoying it. She seemed to be enjoying it. When they had sex, they seemed to enjoy. But the diaries that she was writing every day was telling a completely different story, which was that she didn't enjoy the sex. She said she loved her boyfriend, but she wasn't enjoying the sex. She didn't achieve an orgasm from any of the sessions that she'd had, and she just went along with it because she wanted to please her boyfriend. She was, she loved him, but sexually there wasn't anything happening, and he was devastated. I mean, absolutely devastated. I was shocked because I was a 15-year-old lad. My assumptions were that women really enjoyed sex as much as men. They are just as desperate to have sex and enjoy good sex as men are. But the reason why this also shocked me to the core, again, it must have been from another Reader's Digest publication a few months before, where, and I think it actually stated that in America a study had been done in the 60s, 70s, where it stated that over 90%, in fact I even remember 95% of the women that were questioned about their sex life, did they actually achieve an orgasm? 95% said no. I don't know whether it was how it was worded, whether did you enjoy sex? Maybe 95 would say they enjoyed sex, but if they were asked, did you achieve an orgasm? Then 95% said no. which now, obviously, this is a sample of people, maybe 5,000, 10,000 people, 20,000 people of the population. How many of them were honest? Who knows? How many of them were of all the different races at the time? You know, men, black women, white women, Hispanic women, Indian women, Asian women, etc., etc. The thing is that those two studies were quite profound on me and made me understand that, because it didn't really correlate with me when, you know, when you used to hear some women back in the 70s joke about, oh, you know, on TV you would hear, oh, you know, he mounted me for about 4 minutes and he was done, and then he was gone. And it, you know, this was in comedy sketches or in talks, or people were talking, and it then the pieces were put to, with those two things, came to realization that it's either men are just assuming that by jumping on top of a woman or demanding sex, and then, you know, penetrating the woman and just getting her impregnated, or just having the sex, whereas, and he just has the pleasure, he's finished, she's then supposed to then get herself ready and go off and make cakes. So it's not surprising that obviously, you know, women don't see that as enjoyable. It's not going to be enjoyable if you're being forced upon to have sex. And can you imagine, in the Islamic world, today it's the same thing. The guys, you know, with their wives, they will do whatever they feel they want to do with them. So, but what is the solution to this problem for women? Is it for men to be educated that you can't just jump on a woman and assume banging away for, even if you're capable of doing an hour's worth of banging, that she's going to have an orgasm from, you know, from intercourse? Some people, some men, don't know where the clitoris literally, and yet they've been having sex with women. Some men do not perform oral sex on women, and you know, obviously women enjoy, a lot of women enjoy oral sex. Yet if you go out with a man that doesn't want, no, I don't do oral sex, I don't do penetrative sex, then if that's something that she enjoys it and she's not getting that pleasure, she will seek pleasure elsewhere. Or maybe not. If the personality of the person in question that she's going out with, she likes, he makes her laugh, they have a joke, they're intellectual, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to sex, you know, it is a, you know, you see the adverts. I mean, there's one particular advert where the guy says the two kids have gone out to go to the park to take the dog for a walk for 20 minutes or half an hour, and he says, oh, right, we've got 20 minutes, half an hour. And she goes, okay, yeah, fair enough. And she gets out suddenly gets out two paintbrushes, and then you see them in the end of the advert painting the room, and the guy's looking really annoyed, and the woman's grinning and laughing and thinking it's very funny. Obviously, you know, men are always nearly ready, certainly in the, you know, to have sex. And men do enjoy sex. Obviously, 98%, 95% of heterosexual men enjoy sex. But women are much, much more complicated. Those are the facts. You know, it is annoying. When do you know when to have sex? See, now in the future, the man used to lead back in the days, before the 60s, when it came to sex. Today, if a woman says, I've got a headache, it's it, that's it, it's finished. There is no, you know. But for some guys, in the past, when they did have a headache, it was, oh, maybe have a bit of sex, we'll take it off my mind. And, you know, the sex was the thing that did take worries and issues and problems off their mind. I don't know whether the fact that obviously women, especially with the feminazis, I mean, there are feminists who have boyfriends and have girlfriends. And there are feminists who don't have girlfriends and they're heterosexual. And yet, it'd be interesting to know how their sex lives are, who leads. You know, if you're talking about a fairly well-educated university couple who maybe the woman is more assertive in her requirements, what she wants, what she needs, and the husband is very receptive with that and is understanding, that is probably where the situation is. Maybe men do need to be much, much more understanding of what women need, in women's needs, sexually. I saw a study where at the beginning, if women are having just ordinary hookups, you know, one night stands, there is very little, obviously, orgasm for women and in comparison to men. Men are going to achieve it because that's what they want, that, you know, sort of quick fire burst of enjoyment. For women, because it takes time to crank up to get to that page, it's over, it's finished. But in a long-term relationship with someone where, you know, they have sessions and there's no interference, and if she's relaxed, maybe had a couple of wine, no, and there's very little inhibition, and she's in a safe environment, then, but why do women have to do that when the study shows that a woman can achieve an orgasm by herself every single time? Yet, when she's with a partner, especially a male partner, it will be 1 out of 3. In other words, a man will have 3 orgasms to one woman. Why can't it be 3 and 3? You know, what's stopping that? It's a real shame that, you know, this complication is there, because it is complicated. This is another problem with men and women that has to now be again dealt with. It's very annoying. You find a beautiful girl, and get on with her, and you think, oh great. At some point, you'll want to have sex, but you now it's like you don't want to say anything to be seen as being pushy. And if you do have sex, it's a case of now it's got to be, would you like to lead, or would you like me to lead, or what do you enjoy? This is going to become even more awkward. It's no longer going to be spontaneous. How can someone be spontaneous? How are you going to be spontaneous, or not, as the case may be? I feel that lesbians are just as impulsive, and I think those are the facts, as men are with men and women when it comes to sex. But the difference is this, that they obviously know where the clitoris is, and they are more likely to give to each other, whereas men are more likely to lead and expect. I suppose that's probably the problem. So rather than giving equally together, or as you know, it's difficult, because I've had this image of years that both enjoy it, both get equal enjoyment, and now we're being told, nope, a woman might achieve one orgasm, and it's being called the orgasm gap. Typical fucking feminist shit again. But I think men have changed hugely over the years, and certainly in the West. Well, certainly, in the UK, men are much more nicer to the way in which they have sex with women, and not as forceful or as commanding or demanding as they used to be. Because at the end of the day, who wants to have sex for 3 or 4 minutes when you can, have 5, 6 hours? But even then, it's, are women telling the truth? Because the annoying thing is, for men, the result can be seen at the end of a particular session. But for women, can you tell if the woman has enjoyed the sex? A lot of women say the orgasm is not really that important. Yet if it's not that important, why is it obviously that women are able to achieve that orgasm by themselves, yet sometimes they're not able to achieve that with their partner? And that's very, very annoying. When is it a good time to have sex with women? When? Because sometimes the problem is women themselves, because they don't say anything. Even if they're in a relationship where, it's consensual, it's sensual, the guy just, asks. I think women get a pleasure out of holding back. That's something that belongs to them. They have that control. That's what I believe that women enjoy. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, thanks for listening.